Welcome back to Guitalele Tutorials. You might be thinking what I'm doing with an ukulele, right? So this is for the transitioning players who want to switch from ukulele to guitarlele. This is the first time I'm doing something like this. So all these lessons were pretty much focused on guitarlele till this point. So all the chords, all the riffs we just played on the guitarlele. No reference to ukulele or guitar till now, but yeah, so I just thought that maybe this will help some of the people some of the players who want to switch from ukulele to guitarlele. Maybe you come to know that the two extra bass strings in the guitarlele that the ukulele misses is a good thing to have. Okay, so these are the two bass strings that I'm talking about. Or maybe you want to switch to guitar in future, and you thought that guitarlele would be a good middle ground. So of course that will be. So yeah, so I'm just trying to help you out with different things that you have to keep in mind while playing guitarlele and switching from ukulele. Okay, so the very first thing is their size, obviously. So this is soprano ukulele, and it's almost the half of the size of the guitarlele, right? So this is the soprano and the smallest one in the ukulele family. And yeah, might be there are others, but yeah, the most four common sizes that ukuleles have, soprano is the smallest one, smallest of all of them. So yeah, that's one thing. So the size, and obviously with the size the weight also. So this is lighter than this is heavier. Okay, so yeah, so this is not a comparison between those two instruments. So yeah, but yeah, just get to know these things, right? When we are talking about the size, if you have a tenor ukulele, guitarlele is almost nearly the similar to that. I mean, it's a good middle ground between the baritone and the tenor. So I mean, yeah, if you are playing tenor ukulele, the size of the instrument won't be different, won't be too different for you. Yeah, so that's one thing. The other thing is that the neck. Okay, so the neck is wider than ukulele, and it is wider than acoustic guitar as well. Just to keep in mind the string gaps between these two instruments, I see soprano ukulele has much space between strings than this guitarlele. Okay, so just for side by side comparison. So if you are into fingerstyle playing, if you do much of the fingerstyle playing, maybe you will feel a little difficulty during your initial few weeks maybe. Okay, now yeah, and if you are playing, if you are using the ukulele as a chordal instrument, and most probably this video is for the chordal part of it, right? So how to play the chords that you used to play on ukulele on guitarlele. So mostly things will revolve around that. One more thing just before I start with the chords, the four strings, the bottom four strings of guitarlele is exactly tuned as ukulele. So if you are facing difficulty in the initial days of playing different chords and all, so what you can do is I started with this technique actually. So I started playing guitarlele with this technique. So I used to place capo in nearly 10th 12th fret, 10th 11th fret. Okay, and you can listen, right? So these are, I mean, these are pressed down towards this fretboard. So even if you are playing the other four strings, the top two strings are not getting hit. So this is one thing that you can do. Right, so the top two strings won't pose up a problem for the first few days, but yeah, you will gradually get to used to it. You will gradually get used to it. So that's another thing. Now coming with the chords. So the first one is the C chord. So on ukulele we used to play the C chord like this, just one single finger, right? Okay, now the notes of this string of this chord is G, C, E, C on ukulele. For guitarlele, now that becomes so the bottom four is still the same, so I am just keeping those strings, okay, and I am pressing that third finger, right? Now we have to compensate for the two top strings. So if you see the string here, and if you try to compare it, so you have G, C, E, C. Okay, so the easiest way you can get is that, so this is the A string on guitarlele. So if you don't know about the tuning, A, D, G, C, E, A, so the bottom four is G, C, E, A, same as ukulele. The top two are A and D, right? And this A is 2 octave lower than the thinnest string, right? So this note becomes the C. Okay, or other way to remember is that, so whatever the fret you are pressing for this thinnest string for ukulele, you have to press the same fret in the guitarlele. Okay, so in the thickest string. Okay, and then we are living with only one string, and we see that we have a E here, so I can use this D string, so D, D sharp, E. Okay, so that is an E note, and that becomes my C major, right? Okay, so coming to the other chord, that's the F major, right? F major on ukulele. So we play F major on ukulele like this, right? Okay, so for guitarlele, if you now look back into the strings, so you can leave the, so we are leaving the first string open, so you can leave the sixth string open as well, right? And then we have pressed the E string one note, so that note is F, right? E string first fret is F note, so we can replicate that same in the second string, right, of the, or the sorry, not the second string, the second top string or the fifth string. This is an F note, so if you try to play both, right, so this is an F note. So what we are now doing is that we are pressing that third fret of the fifth string, and we are, for the bottom four, we are regular ukulele style, right? Okay, to play F chord on guitarlele, we leave the thickest string, but it really doesn't matter in the initial few days, so you can play with that as well. The next chord is A minor chord, right? So the A minor chord is this one. So pressing down on the second fret of the fourth string, and we are leaving this two top string now. Okay, now we are leaving open the first string, so we can leave open the sixth string as well, right? Now if you see that we have an E note, the easiest way we can replicate the A minor on guitarlele is that we can play this second fret of the fifth string, that's an E note. Okay, same like we are doing for the C major. But if you want to use that finger, so now coming to the finger part, right? So we are already using the second finger to press the second fret of the fourth string. Now we have different option. We can try to press the second fret of fifth string with the first finger, but that will be too difficult, and maybe you will get some buzzy sound or muted sound. So what we are doing instead is we are using the second and third finger, and the second finger goes on the fifth string second fret, and the third finger goes on the fourth string second fret. That's A minor on guitarlele, right? So that's another chord, A minor. So now we are going to the G major. G minor, sorry, G major is exactly the same as ukulele. So we are just playing the same G chord that we used to play on ukulele, but only thing is that we are not hitting the top two strings, right? So it's a bit of practice that you have to do. Okay, so not hit the two strings, not hit the top two strings, it comes with practice. So there is a program that I have introduced in this course, is the chord check program. Okay, so you can check the G major chord video. So I'll give it here. So that chord check program, if you do that in chord check program, you will get the habit of not placing the string on of the top two strings, right? So I mean, yeah, that requires a bit of practice. So maybe if I remember correctly, it took me almost 2 to 3 months after I came from ukulele to guitarlele to not hit the top two strings for different chords, right? So in guitarlele also we have different chords that we play with the top two strings, sometimes that only the thickest string. Okay, so bottom four usually we are playing in all of the variations, all of the chords. Maybe you can think of it as playing on a different voicing of a chord in ukulele, right? So if you have heard that term, that for sometimes we play only these two strings for the C chord, right, in ukulele as well, and we leave the bottom two strings. We rest our thumb on the second string in that case. Okay, so I'm still playing the C chord here. So this is a voicing of C chord. I mean, if I don't know how much you know about all these things, but yeah, it's kind of same thing on the guitarlele here as well, right? So you just have to think that you're playing a voicing of that chord and you're not trying to hit the thickest two strings. Okay, so that's pretty common practice for guitarlele playing, and maybe in the guitar playing also we do think things like this. So I mean, get used to that habit. So that's a good habit actually. So now we are done with the G major chord, and similarly the G minor chord also is the same as G minor in the ukulele, and the E minor as well, right? So E minor has a different version that comes with a bar. Even if you are able to bar on the ukulele, coming to the guitarlele and just barring the strings of all the strings for the guitarlele would be a little challenge or little difficult for you in the initial few days. So stick to this E chord, this staircase E chord. Okay, my E minor chord, sorry, not the E chord, E minor chord, sorry, my bad. Okay, coming to the D major chord, right? This D major chord. So the same D major chord, we are only playing the same D major chord that we used to play in ukulele. This is the D major chord, and now we are adding this fifth string. Not adding the sixth string here, right? So although we can, but I mean, up to better not to. That's how we. I mean, give it a listen, and maybe if some songs require it, play with the whole six strings. If not, just stick to the five string version, right? So that's about D major chord. The D minor is exactly the same that was of ukulele. So, and here also the D minor is the same. We're just adding the fifth string here, right? So that's it. Nothing extra, nothing hi-fi. So just the fifth string is getting added for the D minor chord, right? So even if you leave that to that fifth string also, it's not going to pose much problem. It's almost similar, only the bass feel is there with the added fifth string. So that's it. So D minor is there, and A major. So A minor was this one, right, on ukulele, and A major was this one. So just one finger difference, right? So we'll start with the A minor basically. So the same A minor, and you just place this string, press this first fret of the third string, that becomes our A major. Okay, so that's pretty much the chord. So A major, C major, D major, A minor, E minor, G minor, pretty much D minor, pretty much all the open chords that we can play on ukulele we have now covered on Guitarlele. So uh, don't get afraid, just give it some time, give it some practice, and things will be lot easier, and I can promise that. Okay, happy playing, happy switching to Guitarlele, have fun.